Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. And today, or in this review, I'm reviewing a fantastic collection of short stories about fading love, compromised relationships, and the dark absurdities of urban life in modern Seoul. We're talking about My Son's Girlfriend by Jung Mi-kyung and translated by Yu Young-nan. And Jung Mi-kyung is a Korean writer whose short stories leave a sting, leave a lingering sting. If you've ever wondered how class, money, and modern city life can distort love, this collection has the answers. So let's get into it. So, who was Jung Mi-kyung? Sorry. So she's not as well known in the West as she perhaps should be, but here in Korea, she is regarded as one of the most distinguished voices in modern Korean literature. Sadly, she passed away very young. She died in 2017. She was just 57 years old. So very sad. She studied literature at Ewha Women's University. Got dirty glasses. She studied literature at Ide, Ewha Women's University here in Seoul, and she won the very prestigious Isang Literary Award in 2006. And during her career, she published two novels, The Strange Sorrow of Wonderland and Stars of Africa, as I think three collections of short stories. Wait a minute, what's wrong? Okay, everything seems okay. Again, I think so far only one of those collections has been translated into English, and that's this one, My Son's Girlfriend, translated by Yu Young-nan and published as part of the Dalkey Archive back in 2013. So I've reviewed lots of the books from the Dalkey Archive at this point. You can find them on the channel. It's an excellent collection of Korean books, novels, short stories, and so on. Now, there are 7 stories in this book, and each one is very sharp, quite unsettling, and they're all really quite absorbing as well. So, in terms of themes and style, what is it that ties these 7 stories together? So, they all explore people caught in situations where love, money, and social pressure and social conditioning sort of collide and interact, or conflict with. There's some sort of conflict between these things. And so the characters in the stories, we have teachers, artists, doctors. These are people who are often struggling emotionally or financially or both. There, a Korean critic, a Korean literary critic called Kim Kyung-yeon, said that Chong portrays a deceptive society full of absurd spectacles where truth and falseness are intertwined and values are destroyed. That's an excellent description of these stories. So we'll meet people in these stories who've lost their way. We'll meet people who are manipulating one another, and people who wonder what might have been if they'd made different choices in their life. Now, let me give you a couple of examples of stories that really stood out for me. So, in the opening story, you have a couple with a long and very complicated history, and they concoct a scheme to defraud the man's wealthy employer. And their desperation leads them to compromise their own morality and ultimately their relationship. It's very bitter, very misanthropic, and laced with irony. It's a fantastic story. Another standout is the title story, My Son's Girlfriend. And this story, I love this, right? It's been often referred to as a Gangnam novella. So it focuses on this sort of new money area of Seoul, this Seoul's ultra wealthy class. And this kind of story might sound familiar if you're a fan of K-dramas. So the narrator here is a middle-aged woman. She has a picture perfect life. She has the expensive apartment. She moves easily in sort of elite social circles, spa days and fine dining and all the rest of it. And she's horrified, horrified, when her, cherished son begins dating a girl from a poor, sub working class background. She's absolutely scandalized. And so she takes it upon herself to vet this girl. And the story is full of just biting commentary about class, about the emotional manipulation that parents inflict on their children, especially when marriage and money intersect. And then also, I'd like to talk about or focus on the final story in the collection, which is about the idea of a drug for love. And so it's quite a surreal ending to the collection. This final story is, oh, let me just double check that, called Night Be Divided. I think I've got that. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, it is. Night Be Divided, exclamation mark. And this story is about a genius doctor who claims to have invented a drug that makes people fall in love. You take this drug and you'll experience real blissful storybook love, right? And of course, this sounds miraculous to the public. But what Chong seems to be saying here is that love in the real world might be impossible, that the love we think we feel is often just narcissism, convenience, or just outright self delusion, and that only a drug could make us feel what we think love should be, or this sort of silly, romanticized, Hollywoodized version of what we think love has meant to be. And it's a brilliant, very bleak commentary on human emotion, and it will leave you asking, what is love really? So I've again, this is very high recommendation from me. I really wish there was more Jung Mi-kyung stuff that was available. Maybe there might be one or two other translations floating around online. Chong certainly doesn't offer any easy answers. Her stories are, morally ambiguous. They're filled with characters who are flawed and desperate, and sometimes very, very cruel. So if you're interested, if that sounds like your kind of thing, you should definitely pick this up. If you like stories about Seoul, about sort of modern urban life, or emotional claustrophobia, about class, about gender, and just a sense of urban entropy or malaise, then I recommend picking up this collection. Beautifully translated, very intelligent, very absorbing. Highly recommended. So if you've read this book, or if you've read any of Chong's other stories, please let me know what you thought. Were there any standout stories for you? Do you think love can survive under the weight of money, status, and expectation? And if you enjoy these reviews, don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell, and thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you back here in the next one, which might be very soon.